We've no idea really what Castrati sounded like. We know it was otherworldly. We know it was quite a different sound from the female voice, and of course, without performing some illegal operations and waiting for a few years, we will never know really what the sound was. But we know enough about writing of the period that it was a really quite a special and unique sound. And by focusing just on the music written for these castrati, it makes, well, apart from anything else, it makes for a really interesting programme. The castrati at the time were the celebrated ones. They were the sort of rock stars, and they were the ones that had a huge sort of public following. And Mozart met and worked with a lot of the most famous and most celebrated ones. And so the idea of presenting a programme that put together music written for these people seemed a really interesting one. And bizarrely, what we've ended up with is the best way to replicate these voices is by using one soprano and one mezzo-soprano. And of course, when I'm researching this repertoire and reading up about who Mozart met, who he studied with, who he learnt from, who he was influenced by, the names of these famous castrati always crop up, and then he started composing for them. But for me, it became really exciting just to start, rather than thinking of them as famous names that keep recurring in books, to actually just put together all the music that was written for them and to see what that tells us about the music and therefore about their voices.
He's my number one composer by miles, that I love both singing but also listening to. And I know his piano concertos very well because I love piano music. And that, I did a paper on the piano concertos at university actually, and I always remember how much I loved it, because you really can, it's his whole life from when he wrote them right to the end. And it's the same when you get to, because he started composing so young, you can see the development that there was.
A lot of people are very surprised when they learn that the famous Exsultate Jubilate was written for a castrato, and they think, well, that's absolutely sort of soprano repertoire, and it wasn't. It was written for a castrato. So Sarah will be singing the sort of upper end of the sort of the half of the programme that's written for slightly higher voice, and Renata Pokopits, the fantastic Croatian mezzo, she'll be sharing the programme with Sarah. So the two voices combined and separately, I think will be a really special experience.